वो दिन कितने प्यारे थे, ये दिन भी कितने प्यारे हैं। तब बाबा साथ हमारे थे, तब बाबा साथ हमारे थे। बाबा अब भी साथ हमारे हैं।
जीवन में उड़ती कला व गिरती कला का आधार ये दो बातें हैं, एक भावना दूसरा भाव। अगर किसी भी कार्य में कार्यप्रत या कार्य करने वाले व्यक्ति के प्रति भावना श्रेष्ठ है, तो भावना का फल भी श्रेष्ठ स्वतः ही प्राप्त होता है। भावना एक है सर्वप्रत कल्याण की भावना, दूसरी है कोई कैसा भी हो लेकिन सदा स्नेह और सहयोग देने की भावना। तीसरी है सदा हिम्मत उल्लास बढ़ाने की भावना। चौथी है कोई कैसा व कौन भी हो लेकिन सदा अपने मन की भावना। और पांचवी है इन सब का फाउंडेशन आत्मक स्वरूप की भावना। इसको कहा जाता है सद्भावनाएं व पॉजिटिव भावनाएं। अव्यक्त बनना अर्थात बच्चे मैं आपके सदा साथ हूँ।
Om Shanti. The Lord is pleased with an honest heart, seated on God's heart throne. Remembrance of the Father with love in the heart. Bap Dada is pleased with an honest heart, not with those who have a sharp intellect. Only the heart and the comforter of hearts know about the heart. The place to accommodate is the heart, not the head. The brain is the place to accumulate knowledge, but the heart is where you would sit, your beloved. Those who do not remember him with love in their heart, who simply remember him intellectually or do service intellectually, have to work hard and have little contentment. The Lord is pleased with an honest heart. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Avyakti Parivar. Today is day 6. The Lord is pleased with an honest heart, seated on God's heart throne. And today's topic is Remembrance of the Father with love in the heart. Now let's listen to our lovely Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti, everyone. It's so beautiful and so well connected to listen to Baba and also listen to their homework. Because one of definitely clean heart, honest heart. But what else is in the heart? Because the feelings in the life, any kind of feelings are in the heart. You say, I really feel it from my heart. Sometimes we use the word, oh, I could feel it from bottom of my heart. So today what Baba is saying, that your feelings, Baba talked about 5 aspects. Baba uses the word bhavana for the feelings. That means towards everyone. Baba says one, bhavana towards the task and the person who is doing the task. It's so interesting. You will be able to do it. You have courage, just kind of helping the soul. So that with that bhavana which I have for the soul, there is strength, there is power. And then Baba said, bhavana of benevolence, towards everyone. Help the soul to increase courage, enthusiasm, zeal. So that's the true cooperation you give when you have bhavana. So bhavana, we always understood, but today Baba is saying, all these feelings are in your heart. So naturally, whatever we will do from the heart will be successful. Now, when your heart is full of feelings, true feelings, right? And then you remember Baba with those feelings. Not Baba, this should become like that, but just pure feelings for the soul. So you look at Baba and actually you're passing those feelings from Baba to that soul. That means I have for everyone that bhavana. Not only for some, I don't have for others. That's again the honesty, right? It's really, Baba is wonderful what he wants to make us. What kind of heart he wants us to have, the heart which is full of bhavana. So even when I will remember Baba and I have bhavana, then Baba said there will be contentment. But also for whom you are keeping bhavana, that all desires will be fulfilled. I think that if we could keep this kind of pure bhavana towards everyone, we all can progress together. There will be lot of harmony. It's just understanding of the feelings are very important. So when I'm remembering Baba, I am full of bhavana. But also in bhavana, you are extending cooperation to other souls. While speaking, I am kind of imagining that how we could help each other by keeping bhavana. And that's what Baba is saying, that do it from your heart. Do it with bhavana or feelings, not just with intellect. Oh, I have to remember Baba. So that means every day now we listen to Baba and inculcate that point. Right? That means I am now for tomorrow taking homework. And in this homework, I am filling myself with all types of bhavana for cooperation, for benevolence, for progress of that soul. So I'm looking at how I keep my heart full with all different aspects of bhavana. And then there will be, that's called the true heart. Because, word truth, definition, very simple, right? But after listening to Baba, it looks that it's not only truth as truth, but what is added with that truth. That means, let's say, I have true love for you. So, what is true love? Benevolence. What is true love for you? Mercy. What is true love for you? Is cooperation. So, same is one is love, my love with the souls, another is my love for Baba. Really, really remember Baba from your heart. And heart has all the love. Like we talked about, Baba gives example of lover and beloved. They have just pure love, no body consciousness. And because of that, the love, every thought of remembrance with love will definitely reach other person. You can immediately get connection there. So what I have to do? If I want a person, to understand my thoughts, or if I want to convey some message, if I want to open communication, whatever it is, when I just have pure love and remember Baba, and Baba will do what we want. I always remember that it's Baba who has to do it, but what I have to do to remember Baba. I remember few times I had to. Generally, I don't ask Baba anything. But one soul really wanted something, in the sense of something get to be done. And I looked at Baba and I said, Baba, you will help her. And I knew Baba will, because it was really from my true heart. So when we all have true heart and we remember Baba, then the task which has to be done, or the person who is doing the task, will definitely not only benefit, but task will happen and it will get accomplished. I think that when I talk, I feel that it really needs to be practiced. It really needs to be implemented. So when we will do our homework, think about these 5 aspects, and then based on that, remember Baba with true heart. So we understand, but we have to practically do it. And when we do it, we understand also. There's a lot of connection of understanding and doing. So all of us have to tomorrow practice to remember Baba with love and keep your heart full of bhavana. And I am sure there will be different kind of experiment. Om Shanti.
The Lord is pleased with an honest heart, seated on God's heart throne. Remembrance of the Father with love in the heart. Bab Dada is pleased with an honest heart, not with those who have a sharp intellect. Only the heart and the Comforter of hearts know about the heart. The place to accommodate is the heart, not the head. The brain is the place to accumulate knowledge, but the heart is where you would sit, your beloved. Those who do not remember him with love in their heart, who simply remember him intellectually or do service intellectually, have to work hard and have little contentment. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Shanti Vyakti Parivar. So now let's do our Vyakti journey. Welcome to a Vyakti journey. An honest heart loves to churn. So wonderful. We would like to invite 2 angels, Sister Judy, Sister Judy. That's interesting combination. So welcome.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti Didi. Lovely to see you back. And Om Shanti Avyakti Parivar and Om Shanti Jude. Nice to see you.
Om Shanti.
It's a special treat, a double Judy night. I so enjoyed listening to that. And it's just lovely to see you, Didi, back. I know you never left us. We were with you the whole time. But very special to see you back in that chair somehow. Very nice. I was listening, and as always, there are a couple of surprises that come out, combinations that I hadn't made before. So to put the word bhavna together with that being true cooperation, that bhavna is the true cooperation, is really, really lovely, I found. So I'm curious to hear what stood out for you, Jude. I have a couple questions that stood out for me as well. But what were your first thoughts hearing?
Thank you, Judy, and it's lovely to see you as well. And speaking of Bhavna, I think everyone really, really missed Didi. While yes, she was here, but we also knew she was a little away. And I have a feeling that Didi missed you as well, everyone in Avyakti Parivar. And she probably missed seeing you just waving hello. So maybe we can all fulfill her desire and just wave hello with that love. I think everyone really, really missed, and she missed you as well. So yeah, in general, connected to what you just shared, Judy, I think just so touched by the power of feelings. Sometimes there's just such a sense of the power of skills or intellectual or clever or impact of words. But to really go to the power of feelings in general, I'm really struck by. And I was so touched listening to that. I mean, just listening to Bapdada is so powerful, but that extract we heard at the beginning from the January 9th Murli, and, going through those 5 different signs or aspects of bhavna. And in general, I guess what touched me was, this is Avyakti Parivar, this is an Avyakti gathering. That would have been an Avyakti gathering in front of Bapdada, but he's really talking to angels. Like, it's sort of mind-boggling that this is a training ground for angels, just to sort of get that in our head. We're not just ordinary human beings trying to have these incredible feelings, but these are angels. He sees us as angels in training, and he knows that we have a very specific, special, unique heart, the heart of an angel. So he's speaking to that. He's invoking that. And I found that really powerful, just to acknowledge the quality of the gathering. He started that Murli by saying, I'm seeing the children who are the Avyakt images. So just seeing us in this way, knowing our hearts so well, knowing that we like to operate with pure feelings, and we want to emerge those feelings for every soul in every situation, we will be happier. And actually, I think the truth will go in more deeply when our heart is open that way. That's really the first thing that struck me, is how much he's speaking to the heart of the angel.
This morning's Murli, where he basically had to remind us that all those stories you've heard about the Father, all those stories you've carried about God, are not how I am, who I am. Here I am. I come directly and I tell you because you're so muddled, and that kind of humility to arrive and say, hello, I'm here. And I'm not at all like what you think. And yet you keep telling those stories, and yet I'm here. So the story of the 3 fathers this morning really touched me and connected to this heart. What a pure heart to be able to just say that on a daily basis to us until it penetrates, until we really get that, and the deepest feelings in our hearts emerge. Of course they emerge to start. Of course they emerge on a regular basis. But the consistency, the constancy of the depth of our heart being our operating system is still in progress. I found that very touching this morning. I don't know about you, and I'm curious about how your intellect has changed over your time with Bubba, but I know I was one who had a sharp intellect, and I was pretty proud of that sharp intellect. And then, but it's actually quite cutting. Really wasn't very nice. And so to have, to have love be the most important thing, I just feel like it's the ultimate justice in the world. It's not about being smart. And so then to have a diamond intellect, which actually shines light on beauty, shines light onto the love in others' hearts. I mean, I'd trade in a sharp intellect for that any day.
Mm-hmm.
What's your experience been?
Well, first, I find it difficult to imagine you being cutting in any way. So I'm not sure about that.
Transformation.
But it's funny, just before coming to join the family here, I was in an email conversation that had to do with graphic design and the technical side of graphic design. And I know almost nothing really about graphic design. I wasn't really formally trained. I always feel Bubba trained me. So I'm sort of muddling through, and it was really making me reflect on what actually makes something that's moving and opens the hearts of others. I remember in dance school and ballet school, there were really often two types of dancers. One was those who were technically incredible, and they really impressed people. They were so technically, I was not one of those, technically incredible. And then there were the others that maybe, weren't technically endowed, if you will, but they dance from their heart. They dance from their heart like little children do. They dance from their heart, and the rest sort of came. They'd be the ones who would, from the heart, maybe stay a little longer to train or had the humility to get corrected. But from their heart, they could really move people. They could really move people with their dance. And I remember that because it was really, and they even had, I think, I sort of a kinder character in the classroom in terms of how they interacted with others. So it's really, I suppose, a huge part. And I liked what you shared when you started about that humility. And that's really such a significant part of Bubba's heart, is it's egoless. So it's completely open, completely open. I mean, he is the ocean of knowledge, omniscient, the truth, but egoless. Mm-hmm. So his sharing isn't intellectual, it's incredibly moving. Mm-hmm. And so to be able to have that kind of depth of wisdom and brilliance, but no ego whatsoever, the heart is coming out of such a pure heart, is such a powerful combination. And I think that's his secret. And so that's, for me, the soul consciousness, that fifth element he talked about, that is freeing me from the ego, but also making the heart more healthy. So these feelings, even, the question about the donation and the cooperation yesterday, I was really feeling whether it's a donation to those who don't, as he's saying, don't have knowledge, or cooperation with those who do have knowledge, who do have, well, in both cases, it has to come from the heart. It can't come from any arrogance or desire to impress. It will not be successful or sustainable either way. So I was really feeling Bubba has such a healthy heart. It's just that pure love. On the other side of the spectrum, from any trace, as you said, of ego, I think that's his speciality. So that's the journey I sort of track for myself, is to have that free a heart so that all the wealth in there can flow out without any obstructions from ego whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. I think the word intellectual and Bubba's words, work hard, when you remember intellectually, I think that is where ego hides out, would be an intellectualizing. And so how do we churn? I mean, for me, churning is not an intellectual endeavor. And yet my intellect is active in the churning process, right? So the ego is part of the intellectual, but not part of the intellect, and yet influences the intellect. What's your take on that?
I think part of the secret was in the last thing that Didi was sharing, actually, that, you need to practice to understand. So the practicing will deepen your understanding, and the deeper my understanding, the changes in how I practice. And it's this upward spiral that, the actual practice to just sort of sit and theoretically work with these ideas, I think is laying me a little bit more open for it to become intellectual, but to churn in such a way that I'm actually integrating and implementing and practicing, I think is really where it starts to move into something from the heart. And again, it's so funny. I know I keep referring, but in movement, you don't just sit and talk about it. You actually, yes, you listen, but then you implement, you do, and that deepens your understanding of movement. So I really was enjoying Didi's final sharing about the more that we, otherwise we just sit and talk and try to interpret and understand. But if we can just do, then I don't think ego has much to do with it. It's now learning. And I think the heart has more to do with it. I'm now feeling it. What Baba's saying, I'm feeling it. So figuring out how to practice, and that's actually being part of the churning, is that I want to, even the listening to Baba speak the Murli, to me, it's like he's leading me through an aerobics class every morning, a fitness class, because he speaks. And I actually want the heart to feel what he's saying. I want to go through it. I want to go to the place. So this isn't a head thing. It's a moving by the soul and moving with the Murli. The Murli is moving me. My heart's engaged. I'm attaining so much by feeling what he's saying. So how to get active in terms of working with Baba's knowledge, I think, is an art.
Yeah, definitely. And experiential education,
Yes.
education, learning. Learning doesn't happen unless you try something. It's not learning, it's passive regurgitation unless it's applied. What I find interesting, we say as Brahmins, oh, this touched my heart. It was this point in the Murli that touched my heart. And I notice in our morning Murli class, when the sharings happen and somebody says, this touched my heart, it might be, a third of the way through the Murli, might be half of the way. It might be in the blessing at the very end of the Murli. This is a thing, but there is always something that touches the heart. And it's almost like that's the moment where you just see the soul, the beauty of the soul unlock. You just see it blossom. And the way the soul describes that which touched their heart in today's Murli is always sort of the key to seeing the beauty of that soul. So it's a very interactive process, as you're saying, the churning, the listening, the imbibing, the feeling, the absorbing, the being with Baba, the relationship development through listening. It's like a conversation that's happening in my mind with Baba, through the whole Murli. It's very rich. And that's all heart work. That's all the heart, not even work. That's heart love. That's heart experiences, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it keeps the heart really, active, engaged. So it's more heart learning, or and when you mentioned this idea of that touched me in the Murli, I think even as everyone's listening now, they can probably reflect, I hope, on what touched them in the Murli this morning. And did I feel that as I go through the day? Did that guide my heart as I went through the day? You know, otherwise it might have just been more something intellectual. It impressed on me.
Exactly.
But if it really moved my heart, I can't really forget about it.
Yeah.
And I will use it in some way. It will come through. And I think when it comes through in that way, it is serving, if you will, from the heart, remembering Baba and his teachings from the heart. And I think he loves to see that when it goes from the heart into our activity, our feelings, our thoughts, our vision, if it really deeply impressed. And so we often will say, yes, what touched your heart? And will that be what you carry into your day, the feeling, the fragrance of that into your day? And it may not even be that I remember the exact words, because churning is where you chew on something and it goes, you know, like food, you chew, and it actually then provides the energy to move the body. So similarly, I'm chewing on something, Baba said. I'm letting it really absorb into me, and it's going to guide how I move, either soul move, how my heart operates, how I move. It may not be in the same form at all. In which
I was going to say, yeah, I was going to say the original food is not recognizable anymore.
You know, it's just energy. It just turns into
energy.
calories.
Wonderful.
So
Right.
Baba's knowledge, he calls it knowledge specifically, you know, he's so adamant about that, because it's going to convert, as he says, the grass into the milk. It's going to convert into something that moves. And in this case, moves my heart as I go through the day. So it's such an incredible training of angels, you know, angel hearts that he does, and only he can do.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
suspect we've reached the end of our
I
time,
think
but I have no idea, Jude. So I think we should just.
But it's so nice to see you, Judy.
It's nice to see you too.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Om Shanti.
Om
See you
Shanti.
tomorrow.
Om Shanti. Yes, it was lovely. Thank you. Thank you for coming. And this is very interesting because Baba says to churn, churn, churn. And some Brahmins, when they are new, they don't know how to churn. So thank you for coming and doing this. And many, many are inspired. So now let's do our meditation homework. And then we'll take Drishti from Didi and remember Baba. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so Amrit Vela and evening session, and Avikti children class, Muli class from 5 to 5:30. Thank you. Om Shanti.
The Lord is pleased with an honest heart, seated on God's heart throne. Remembrance of the Father with love in the heart. Bap Dada is pleased with an honest heart, not with those who have a sharp intellect. Only the heart and the comforter of hearts know about the heart. The place to accommodate is the heart, not the head. The brain is the place to accumulate knowledge, but the heart is where you would sit your beloved. Those who do not remember him with love in their heart, who simply remember him intellectually, or do service intellectually, have to work hard and have little contentment.
सच्चे दिल पर साहब राजी, परमात्म दिल तख्त नशीन, दिल के स्नेह से बाप की याद, बाप दादा सच्चे दिल पर राजी हैं, तीव्र दिमाग वालों पर नहीं। तो दिल का अनुभव दिल जाने, दिलाराम जाने। समाने का स्थान दिल कहा जाता है, दिमाग नहीं। नॉलेज को समाने का स्थान दिमाग है, लेकिन माशूक को समाने का स्थान दिल है। जो दिल के स्नेह से याद नहीं करते, सिर्फ नॉलेज के आधार पर दिमाग से याद करते, वह सेवा करते। उन्हों को मेहनत ज्यादा करनी पड़ती, संतुष्टता कम होती है। ओम शांति।
Om Shanti, everyone. Om Shanti.